Hiya YouTubers, this is Superman G coming back at you one more again. If you've reached this video, that means that this is the time that you've been waiting for, the upgrade to the Silver Surfer. This may be a long video and it may not be, but that doesn't matter. What matters is, look at my desktop. I like that. Very sleek. Doc Brown standing there like, great Scott, look. Yeah, I am a big sci-fi fan, but I digress. So, with this video, this will be the upgrade to the Silver Surfer, as I've said before. So without further ado, let's get on with the build and get her done. Okay, so what we're going to do is swap out the processor cooler, which has been giving me some thermal issues, temperature issues, and we're also going to swap out the graphics card. So the cooler that I've chosen to install is the SCYTHE FUMA 2, and this has a double fan, double tower system. I've been reading reviews about this. It's gotten rave reviews. As with most SCYTHE products, I wanted to get the SCYTHE Fusion 5. They're out of stock, and this came in at the time, so this is what I'll be using for the cooling of the CPU. As far as graphic card, I decided to go big with this, the GeForce RTX 2070 Super Founders Edition from NVIDIA. So these are the two projects that I have lined up for the upgrades. So now that you know what parts I'm going to be using, let's get started. I'm probably going to start with the graphics card first because it's very tight. It's kind of tight up in here where the processor is. I want to show you what time it is. That's the actual time it is right now. It's 12:42. Yes, I am bored. So, and I'm not sleepy because I had a nap earlier today, so I'm kind of wide awake. So I need to find something that's going to tire me down, and I could think of nothing better than to do a after midnight upgrade to the Silver Surfer. So I got my toolkit here, all ready to go. One of my mini toolkits. Got my driver here, and the first thing I want to do is unclip the power cable that goes to the graphics card. And alright, so now I have to take out the connecting screws, or the mounting screws that are on the graphics card. I hope everyone's been staying safe and everything's been well when everyone's in. I know this COVID thing has a lot of people down, and you know, not able to go anywhere. We're gonna get through this. Now, this may not work. I'm gonna try this one and see how this one fares. It's got a long shaft on it, so I'm gonna try that and see how that fares out. So, and I may need to get my magnetizer, demagnetizer for this. I just don't want to lose any screws. I should be okay, but there are going to be some small screws that I have to deal with. So I'm going to be grabbing that. I have to unhitch the locking mechanism, which is tucked in back here that you really can't see. This the locking mechanism is short, and I've actually contacted several motherboard manufacturers, including this MSI board manufacturer, and I told them, now we should be at a level or that stage in technology where those little release clips should be expanded. They're like this, and they should be like this, because if you have the cars are getting bigger, they're not getting smaller. Now when they were smaller it was fine, but now they're getting bigger. The access to get back here and hit that release lever is tight. It's a tight fit. I think what I'm gonna do, I'm probably gonna wind up taking this process off first. If I can, I'll have more room to get my fingers down in there and get this off. The first thing I need to do is I'm going to go ahead and disconnect the power to this processor. And now this should just pull right, there it goes. Okay, now it's off. And now the other hard part is to try to get this to unlatch from these mounting clips that this fan is attached to. It should just pretty much unlatch, but these things are held, this is held on by these clips, and if you don't get one, then it's kind of hard to get the other because there's tension on that's attached to it. Let's see. Okay, I got one off. I just got to get the other. Okay. And you are not going to believe this. The whole processor just came off. I do not believe this. The entire processor just got delatched from this mounting area. I do not believe what I'm seeing. I gotta show you this. This is incredible. I've never seen this happen before. You gotta look at this. Let me get my flashlight. You see that? Can you see it? The processor came right. That means that the processor is actually stuck onto the cooler. What I have to do now is get this second clip off. There's a clip, the second clip. Now I have to remove this RGB clip that's on the bottom. And see, as you can see, there's a processor. Okay, so I have my Q-tips and alcohol, and I'm going to attempt to try to clean off some of this thermal paste. See if I can get right under there and clean off some of this thermal paste. Hopefully that'll make it loose enough to where I can get this processor off this heatsink. I've taken off whatever thermal paste I could take off, and I'm going to see if I can wiggle this thing loose, which looks to still be like it might be of a challenge, but I'll see if something will happen. Ah, there it goes. There it goes. Wow, I guess I should have put a towel under here. But yeah, that helped out a lot. This processor is not going to seat because there are damaged pins. I was hoping there wasn't, but I wasn't looking on that side. If you look, it's going to be real hard to see, but it's right on this side right here. You can see that, how you see those 3 or 4 gold ends that's angled. Those are damaged pins, and because of that, and I think there's some up here too, because it's not going to seat. I'd have to order a new processor. So as far as I'm concerned, I can't do anything with this build right now. I can't put it back on there because it won't seat, and you don't want to continue to try to put this back onto the motherboard, because it's not going to seat. If it doesn't seat correctly, don't put it back on the motherboard. It's not going to post. You're going to get errors. Don't try it.
4 days later.
Hi YouTubers, I'm back, and this is a continuance from when I started making upgrades to the SILVERSURFER. Now, from the previous video or segment of the video, you will know that the CPU got damaged as it came off with the air cooler. So I had to order a new processor. This is the processor. The box of the processor came in. A little tight. I'm going to show you the time. And I just got off work not too long ago, so I wanted to show you the time. It is after 1 in the morning. It's at 1:08, 1:07. I know people are like, after you work 8 hours, how can you possibly go home and work on a computer? It's something I enjoy doing. Here's a processor, the Ryzen 2700X. Now, I've installed the SCYTHE Fusion 5 before, but I've never installed this before. So this is something new. I've looked at tons of videos about this, and it's gotten rave reviews. And this is a dual fan or dual tower system. Here's the screwdriver that SCYTHE always gives you. This is the bracketing system. There's thermal compound here, which I'll most likely be using. The screws. This is the wire splitter here, and for the 2 fans. So this will plug into the motherboard fan header. These 2 will plug into the 2 fans. Here's like an instruction booklet, which I'm going to actually use. And then the fan itself is in here. This is the fan that's going to go, I believe, on the front. Now, this is the first time I've ever owned a dual tower cooler before, or heatsink. So this should be pretty interesting. And there's a do not touch seal. Okay. So hopefully this will keep my temps down. I'm actually anxious to see how this works out. Here's instructions. You just need to find the one that says AMD 4, since this is a AMD build. So I have my 4 plastic spacers, which are these. It's weird being up this time of night doing an upgrade on the computer when a lot of people do theirs during the daytime. I'm working on getting my weight down, so you didn't see this belly right here? This is all me, you know. Yeah, I gotta work on that. I'm starting to look like Fred Flintstone. We got our 4 screws. Don't drop it. Here are the 4 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, silly on me. This is for Intel. So I can put this away. We don't need this. Is for Intel. I'm doing AMD. These are the fan clips that I'm going to be using for the fans later on. These are the 2 mounting brackets that I'm going to be using. Okay, here are the brackets. Ding, ding, ding. Now, if you have this kind of rough side or doesn't really have anything, that's the wrong side. The side that's raised, you can probably see how it's got a raise on it. That's the side that you want to put up. We're at number 3 here, and this shows you where to put the screws on the mounting brackets. And there is saying AMD, and AMD is going to, well, it says AM4. I'm sorry, AM4. It says it goes on the end, the last slot right there. The processor to where that was. taking a very big chance on putting this side in, but I got it. I got it. And just do opposite corners all the way around until things tighten. That's not going anywhere. That's not going anywhere. That's good. You just need to tighten it until it stops. You don't need to keep going until you... And that's done. And that's it. Brackets are now installed. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Has anyone seen the thermal compound anywhere? No, not you, you silly brackets. Get out of here. Thermal compound. Has anyone seen thermal compound? Thermal compound. Are you anywhere? Anywhere around? Anyone seen the thermal compound? Going once? Going twice? Oh, there you are, thermal compound. You are needed on Ryzen 7. Before I start this, I am going to get a glove, which I need. Uno momento, please. And here we are, the glove that does not fit, so they must acquit. Now we have our glove, our almighty glove, like Thanos' hand. You just put a little teeny tab of it there. Hopefully it won't drip on me. If it drips, I'm gonna have problems. It's got a little spring on it. Oh, probably more than what we needed, but that's what we needed. That's all we need. You're gonna take this finger, or this finger, or this finger, or this finger, or even your thumb. This is your hitchhiking thumb, they call it. And you just want to paint. You want to paint. You don't have to go crazy, because a little bit goes a long way. Paint. My light. Is my light enough for you? Now, you don't have to cover the whole CPU. You can if you want. But what's going to happen is, once everything starts getting up and moving, this stuff is going to spread out. Okay? That's it. For those AMD fans, these are your brackets. Save these, because you never know if you're going to want to put the original cooler back on. You know, you may have a cooler that fails and you need a backup. So keep these and the screws that comes with them. I'll show you what I did wrong. And this is a mistake that can be easily done. Do you see how this bracket here is facing down and then this one is facing up? I had said that earlier. See the points there? Facing down and this one facing up. That's where I screwed up. But if you look at my flashlight, if you can see, I have the bottom one facing up and not down. The top one is right, but the bottom one, I need to have that facing down. So I need to change this one. This one right here, I need to change that to down. Yep, see, mistakes like this are easier to make. So it's no big deal. This is how you learn about how to put these things together. Now you can almost bet that if I have to put this together again, I'm probably going to make that same mistake again. Here. Yeah, it's biting. So we're good. Yay! I got it in the right place this time. Cool beans. Now we may commence with the drilling. Gonna give that a couple of turns. Then we're going to give this one a couple of turns. Alright, that's it. That's done. Here's my splitter. I need to find a wire that went with the first fan. I guess it doesn't matter which one you plug it into. There's nothing labeled as far as which fan you want to plug it into, so just plug it to either fan. Ouch, again, that's my finger. Okay, that one is attached. Just plug this in. I'm sure there's a method to the madness. Okay, so now we have our fans connected. Let me get this connected to the motherboard. So you're going to connect this to where it says CPU fan on your motherboard. Boom. Got it. Okay, the cooler is now installed. Let's try to set it up. It's actually not too bad in here. I like the dark finish on it. It's nice. So, smells like a new box of shoes. Yeah, it smells like a new box of shoes. It's really nice. 2070 Super. I'm gonna call it a Supra. 2070 Supra. Look at the ports on the back. I believe that's display, HDMI and display, and then there's a USB Type-C. So this end goes inside the computer. Make sure that the locking clip is in the open position. Just gonna push it in. You should hear a click. It may not have clicked, but you heard it go in. Screw this back. So you're just gonna hold it up like so. Once you get these screws tightened, you can let go of the graphics card. And you don't have to over tighten these. Just tighten it to the point where the screws stop. When the screws stop, you're done. No wobble. What else is in this box? Headphone. Looks like. Oh. Looks like. I didn't even realize this till I looked. Oh, a quick start guide. Yeah, that's a display, and this might be DVI. Yeah, DVI. You never know. Might be one of those days when you need it, so I'm definitely going to keep that. That's a nice touch. So you're going to give it power, just connect the 8-pin. There it goes. Now the graphics card is installed. And that's it for the upgrade.
I'm back into Windows. Now that I've changed out the cooler, these are my current temps. System is at 32. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually run the CPU Z benchmark test, stress test rather, and I'm going to see how this cooler does. Here we go. Okay, now it's already into the 60s. I'll probably let this run for about, it started 11:18. I'll probably let it run for about 11:20. And we're in the 70s. This is the SCYTHE, not the Musion 5. This is the SCYTHE FUMA 2. And it's been getting a lot of rave reviews. And I'm hoping that it's going to give me a really good review on my system, considering I'm running the Ryzen 7 2700X, which has a TDP of 105 degrees. So it gets pretty warm, pretty hot. And it's the stock cooler that was included, which was the Wraith Prism cooler, was just not. There have been people who were complaining about the coil one, which it was doing, and that it wasn't cooling the processor while they were playing games or rendering or anything, video editing, whatever it was they was doing that was demanding a lot of energy, processing power. That cooler just was not cutting it. So of course SCYTHE makes some really good coolers. The SCYTHE Mugen 5 was out of stock, which I wanted to get, but it was unavailable. So the FUMA 2 was available. It came available 2 weeks ago, or about a week and a half ago. So it was more. It was probably like maybe $10 more than the Mugen 5, but that's fine. So I took it and installed it, and this is the first bench test I've done with it. The installation wasn't bad. I had maybe an issue or two with something with the installation, but the clips, the mounting clips for the fans are what I kind of had an issue with, and I had them switched out when I should have had one set for the big cooler, the big fan, and then another set of brackets for the sim fan, and I had them switched. And so I tore up my thumbs and fingers trying to get this thing corrected, but I finally figured it out and got it straightened out, and right now it is on there and it is doing pretty much as 75. It's actually doing, these temps are nothing like what I saw before with the Wraith Prism. And now my thing about the Wraith Prism is that I'm not 100% on this, but to me it seems like any cooler that faces the front of your case, or like the window side of your case, that's blowing down, it's actually taking cool air inside of the case and it's blowing it down onto the chip or the heatsink, and it's blowing it out through the sides. And I don't know, maybe AMD didn't do enough of research on that cooler to get it a really good a good process of handling that. So other than that, I have no idea. But this cooler is actually doing pretty well. It's actually 1122. It's longer than what I thought. So 76, and it's still way under. By now, with that Wraith Prism, I would have been in the high 80s. I would have been at 85 by now. And this cooler is actually doing pretty well so far. I am really pleased with these temperatures on this cooler. So I think I'll stop the test at 1123, but it's doing really well right now. I got a 50 on here from the MOS rather, but other than that, this cooler is it's performing as well as I hoped it would, and I'm very happy. So I'm gonna go ahead. It's 1123. I'm gonna go ahead and stop the test, but I think this has surpassed what I wanted it to do. So with that being said, I am Superman G. This completes the video of the upgrade to the SILVERSURFER. Thank you all for joining me. You all take care, be safe, and peace out.